covered up with baits that I'd tried, and he did the same thing on the back there. He finally got one in the boat, and I had one right beside the boat. He jumped off the spinner bait right there. That's the closest I got one to the boat, was right there beside it. It was just, I mean, I just sat there laughing. It was so funny because every time we'd holler, got one, and the other one would grab the camera, and before you could turn the light on and get the camera going, he's gone. Went through, I don't know how many trailer baits that they had, they tore up. I don't know what it was. It was an unbelievable night. We finally just got so frustrated we just come on to the house.
Yeah. Well, folks, you know, we told the other week that Dad had been in the hospital, and we left here to go by and see him anyway. You know, taking care of family and the fishing, we had to put the fishing on the back burner, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Sure have, and we're hoping we got him back home. He's doing pretty decent, and we're hoping that we might get to slip off a little bit tomorrow night and maybe try to catch a few or get some bites or something. It's been 3 weeks since I've been, and I'll probably have to put some oil on my reels to get them to cast.
Now, but you better say hello to Dad, because he said he was going to be watching when I left him this evening.
Well, we better say hello to Bill,
Yeah.
and to Gay and to Dad, and they had Miss Polly to the doctor today, and hope everything went well with that. Bill's still fighting that kidney stone, and he's supposed to, I think he told me he's going over to the doctor tomorrow. He thought he'd passed it, but he hadn't, and so I think it's tomorrow when he goes over there to the doctor on that. So his knee's doing good, just got to get rid of that back pain.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
we're hoping they'll get things lined out here, and so we can make a trip and catch a fish or two, get some film anyway. I don't know, Chucks, we're going to have to do something. Kathy and Mike Russell, Missy, and Scotty went down on the pontoon boat the other night, and they caught 2 walleye and had another one on, and caught a bass about 3 pounds.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too.
Yeah.
But they said not to tell you where there's at,
Well, yeah.
so I ain't gonna tell you.
Yeah, okay.
If they want you to know, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well, I'm figuring all them grandkids all going back to school there, I think Monday or something.
mm-hmm.
I guess I'll have to take them out on the water before they go back.
Yeah. Well, you get Missy's pontoon and get out there and ride them around on the inner tubes.
He probably could, but we're going fishing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Maybe you can catch them, have some fin.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. We have just bombed out here. I'm telling you, I was counting on you and Jeff getting some fishing film up there, and Dad blame you didn't let me down.
I know. I'll get some worms and some minnows both, and they'll catch something.
That'll work.
Brim.
Yeah, I don't care.
Crappie or something.
Yeah, I don't care if it's carp. Just,
Yeah.
You know, they run around and jump and carry on too. You know, pull hard. You know.
Oh yeah.
So
Nothing else. I get them in them catfish down there.
that'll work. Catfish, that'll be all right too. Just so we got something that swims on that film, on the camera. That's all I care about. But anyway, we're gonna. I don't know. I think we might have. You think you got a minute on your camera?
I didn't even bring it. It wasn't.
You
nothing
didn't
to
even
show.
bring it. Well, we're in trouble then,
It
'cause
wasn't even nothing to show.
I think I've deleted all the film that was on my camera just to make room for when I did go, so that I could film it. And dadgum didn't get to do that.
Yeah, when Jeff caught that one fish, or got that one fish up there to the boat, and flipped it in the boat as soon as it come side of the boat had come off,
Mm-hmm.
flopped around the bottom of the boat, and we was chasing it down and got it, and it wasn't 10, 12 inches long.
Yeah. Got it.
It beat all I ever seen.
I'm not even.
I just kept thinking, I could change Ryan on it,
Yeah.
a trailer, or change color skirt or something, and try this and that, and we get down and rig 3 or 4 different baits up and on the, different poles there, and try another spot there and fish it, and do no good, go to the next, and then get down and change again.
Yeah. I hear you.
It just unbelievable. And it seemed like I could get bites on stuff, but you sure couldn't keep a hold of anything.
Well, anyway, we're going to take a little commercial break here. Take us to IOUE, our Dillon, and let me get me something to drink. Go to the drink machine, folks. Be right back. All right, folks. I'm here with David Ray, the local business manager here at 917. David, give us a little insight and history on the union.
Okay, Steve, so we actually got started here in 1933, been around a long time. There was a group of individuals from the Norris Dam Project is where we actually originated from, was where Local 917 originated from. They felt like they needed a union in that area. They got a hold of the regional director for the International, which had an office in Atlanta at the time. And that's the history of 917. They established it. The work was going on the Norris Dam Project, and they decided they needed a union. Some of the wages back in 1933 to get started out, they were at $1.50 per hour is what the men were making running equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's according to what contract you're working under. We have equipment operators making anywhere from $25 to $35 an hour. We kind of pride ourselves on being professionals. We do have a 3-year apprenticeship program. So when you hire an operating engineer, you're getting a very qualified person, whether it be a crane operator or a dozer operator. We also have stationary engineers that work at the federal building out at Oak Ridge, at Y12, over at Tullahoma.
Mm-hmm.
We've got heavy equipment operators in the Kingsport area. But we are well established, been here since 1933, and hopefully we'll be here another 80 some odd years. But all in all, people, I don't understand why they don't use union operators on any contractor, because they come with the contractor does not have to keep insurance on them. That is all done through the local.
Mm-hmm.
We have our health care, which covers our operating engineers, and they've got a good pension, which the local union takes care of all that. The contractor does not have to worry about that stuff. It's all in the total wage package. So really, if you got short construction jobs, I don't see how contractors could go wrong using local union operating engineers, because we do take care of the health care, the retirement. With an operating engineer, you have a professional, drug-free workforce. So when you come into our area, you will have a qualified member that we send you. It's a win-win situation for the contractor, and also member from 917. We work hand in hand with all the other crafts, whether it be iron workers, electrician, operate, or laborer, or just whatever it may be. We work hand in hand with those folks, and we try to be very professional and handle our business in a professional manner. But I really feel like that everybody should be union, have an opportunity to live better. It's because a contractor, when they come in here, they're wanting somebody that's a polished operator, whether it be on a dozer, the cranes, track hoe, whatever their need is. All they have to do is pick up the phone, call us. We send them an individual, and it makes it pretty easy for a contractor to use us. And we, like I said, we pride ourselves in our work. Our work is all we have to offer, and feel like we give a contractor an honest day's work for his money.
All right, David, I appreciate the history, and I appreciate you, I've been with you 19 years now, and I want to thank you all for being a sponsor of the fishing show, and I know you're an avid fisherman too.
Yes, I enjoy fishing, and and I appreciate the opportunity just to get to be on your show here for a minute, and
let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TDA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, whether it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David, I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. All right, folks. Gave me a chance to get something to drink there. Mike bought me a Sprite here. Yeah. Good thing. He'll be wanting his $5 back when we start home. Yeah. I'll have to give it to him.
Them vending machines high.
That's what I thought. Okay. Let's see. Miss Owens, I hope you're listening. Your package is in the mail. For your yeah, it's in the mail. My wife mailed it there today. Supposed to get it Saturday. My cell number is 310-1854. Make a note of that, please, and if you don't get it, give me a buzz back. All right. Mike Pennington, if you're watching, I want you to call me after the show. I'll be in the truck at about 5 after 8, or you can call me at 5 after 8 or whatever, when we go to the next break, whatever's convenient for you. I got some information that you was wanting, I want to share it with you, and before we put it on the air. Anyway, you heard the bad results of the fishing. We don't have any fishing film, and so we're just going to have to talk about some fishing right here. I told you about Kathy and Missy, my sisters, going down and fishing off the pontoon boat. Kathy said they could have caught a couple of more walleye if they could have got them. You're trying to lift them up over the side of that pontoon boat, and it's about sitting about 3 foot out of the water.
There's more, yeah.
I said, you need to get you a long handle dip net.
That's right.
If you're going to do that, you got to have the net to reach out there and at least get it in the water and
Yeah.
drag the fish up in it.
If
She said,
they
yeah.
ever watched them walleye guys on TV,
Mhm.
they got a net with a great big one, and
Yeah.
the handle on it's about 20 foot long.
Yeah. They get them that close to the boat, they don't want to let them get off, Mike.
No.
Don't blame them, for sure. So anyway, that's about all I know on the fishing report. Wesley, when's your first tournament? Don't know yet. Okay. I thought the guy said probably September. September, October, November. That's the schedule, kind of. Okay. 10-4. So school's fixing to start back, ball games, all this kind of stuff going on, and then the fishing teams will start their tournament trails here this fall, and they'll fish 3 or 4 tournaments, and probably up to November. I think it's the way it was last year. It'll be the last one till spring, and then they'll start again. But anyway, we'll just have to get Wesley and Caleb Corbin down there and let them. Hopefully, they can do some good this year. Got a new season starting, and they really need to come on with it. They are capable, but just got to get them in the right places.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I did hear some reports on Watts Bar. There's some fish in the breaks. Right now, they're not catching huge sizes of fish, but catching quite a few numbers of fish. Early in the morning, late in the afternoon, and then around midday, you just be running up the lake there, and there'll be a big fish break there.
Oh yeah.
And some of it will be striped, and a lot of bass being caught out of it. So keep that in mind if you're got a day out. If you're going fishing and you get there early, you'll see some minnow activity, and just be watching whenever you're cruising around.
Yeah.
They pop up anywhere and everywhere. So, but some of the guys at work was telling me that they's catching some fish down there in the breaks, early and late. So, Sherry and I used to go down a lot, in the afternoons especially, them stripes, she just loved to catch them. And on the rattle trap, and just have a ball. Find a break up Tennessee, there around the power lines, or on a little farther up, or then go down below Bayside, Blue Springs, especially there on the island, on the lower end of the island there, where the sandbar runs away down the river. Just fall in there and get one ever cast. And 2 years ago we got into them heavy there right above Caney Creek, there in the bend of the river.
Sure did.
Just had a ball. It's when there's 3 of you in the boat, and all 3 of you's got one on at the same time, Mike, you're around a bunch of fish.
You are.
And they were feeding heavy. So last year we didn't get into any of that. Don't know what was going on, working I guess, but anyway, they didn't really break as heavy, and they won't do it every year the same place or the same time. What we've seen over the years, it's wherever, when they were pulling a lot of water, and it's wherever them bait fish wind up is where you're going to find them.
Yeah. When you get them eddy places out of that current where
yeah.
they sweep in there and they get over and gang up.
That's exactly right. The river comes out there and does this and goes over that far bank, and over here it's kind of churning backwards a little bit, and out there is strong, and then fish just lay right in there in that eddy water and gobble up the minnows, the stripe, the bass, the catfish, it's anything and everything. You know, they're gonna go where the food's at.
Yeah, they'll run out there and get them a big mouthful of stuff, and then ease back over where they don't have to do nothing, just lay there and swallow it down.
Yeah, we call
And then get that down here, they'll come again. It seemed like you could sit there and watch them when you watch about every 15, 20 minutes. They'd come in there and go to breaking again when they get started feeding, and then here come the rest of them.
Right, and shoot, we caught them down there last year, and the dang minnows' tails sticking out of their mouth.
Oh yeah,
and them still just trying to eat.
The bass do the same thing.
They will.
Down there, the old boy from down there at Dayton, that fishing and won that big tournament down there. I guess it was the Bass Masters or something down there. Fished over here at Knoxville in that tournament the other day. What, Wheeler, was that his name?
Yeah, Jacob Wheeler. Yeah.
Yeah, he was down there and was talking about that when they were pulling that current. And said everybody sitting around there, and there's 4 or 5 different boats sitting around him there, but nobody was catching anything. And then if one of them finally got one hooked, and then all of a sudden the whole school got active and they was all catching fish.
Yeah.
You know, so it takes one to get them excited. Seems like, and make that first move, and then they all go crazy.
Yeah. That's that excitement and something funky swimming or something like that, acting like it's about half dead or whatever, you know, a minnow or a bluegill or whatever, you know, it just makes them, you know, excites them and puts them to feed.
Yeah.
So that's exactly right. No doubt about it, Mike. Let's see.
I listen usually during the day on the radio there, and that news channel, and they had that was talking about having that guy from TWRA. They're going to have a big meeting. I think he said Morristown, and then they got one they're going to have down Cleveland, I think, and take input, inviting the public to come in there and give input on all the stuff that's going on. Sure they got a number or something where you can log on to get a hold of them or find out their schedule when and where and all that. And if you want to go to that college down there, I think in Cleveland, I'm not sure what it was up there toward Morristown. But he had a lot of callers there today, and a lot of people calling in talking about different species and them doing that deal on the elk thing there, and if you got in on that, you know, you could, if you didn't win the hunt, he was talking about them giving away a 4-wheeler and several other prizes that you could win just by entering to get in on that thing. And I think tomorrow's the last day you can get in on it. And, but anyway, there was several different callers about different things about hunting stuff, you know, the deer and a few things like that. But one of the most interesting things was a guy that called in and was asking about floating down the creeks or rivers. And he said he's had property owners tell him that he couldn't do that. And he said even if the property owner owns both sides of the creek that creek runs through, as long as you stay in the creek, you're okay. But said if you get out on his property, then you're trespassing. But as long as you're in that water, you can float anywhere there's water. But then no problem whatsoever.
Now, what are you talking about? Floating these creeks and
floating the creeks of fishing and stuff like that. He's talking about it on the kayaks and stuff, you know.
Okay, so as long as you stay in the water.
As long as you're in the water, you're okay. That belongs to TWRA's over that. But the property owner can't say nothing to you.
Yeah.
But if you get out of your boat or get out of the water.
Well, now, that ain't gonna help you none, Mike. As
No.
much as you stay hung up in them trees and stuff,
Yeah.
first cast or two, it'd be over.
Yeah.
So,
But that's the first time I'd ever heard anybody ask a question like that or talk about it.
well, that's a good question because they float these, a lot of these canoers, kayakers, shallow water fishermen. I've worked with several of them down there, or over here now, and they always ask me about fishing and this, that, and the other, and they're floating with the kayaks and stuff, and you know, I say, hey, boy I work with just bought a little old 14-foot John boat with electric trolling motor on it, and I told him, I said, now, I said, you okay? You're all right? I said, you're good. I said, with that trolling motor and stuff. I said, but now, I'm gonna tell you this, with that, as long as you're paddling it, you don't have to register.
Yeah.
But when you put the battery on that trolling motor, stick it in the water, better have some numbers on it. And his question to me was, if he was fishing a pond, would he have to, not necessarily he's got a pond on his property, but he said if I go over here 3 or 4 miles to my neighbor's place and put that boat in, that electric trolling motor, do I have to have it registered? I said, you know what? That's a good question. And I gave him the number out there at Crossville.
Yeah.
And I said, call this number right here and ask them. I said, I don't know the answer to that.
I don't
know.
think it does on a pond because it's not
Connected.
connected to the rivers.
I agree, but I didn't know, so I wasn't going to put.
Yeah.
You know, I said, here's the number out there. Call out there and ask for so and so, and ask them about that.
Well,
but I said, I do know if you put it in the lake or on the creek or floating the creek with it with that trolling motor, you got to have it registered.
Got that registered.
Yeah.
That was a pretty interesting call there when that guy over at Loudon Way was talking at Loudon County over in there. He said they had a pretty big sized pond. It said had that thing stuffed full of bass and bluegill and crappie and everything. And he said them dang eagles just plucked it plumb empty. And I thought, well, I've never seen eagles hang around a pond and eat that much. I said, I think he must be looking at the wrong bird there. I said, he may be thinking them ospreys or something coming in there, or them heron birds,
Yeah. Well,
cranes or something is coming in there, and they're eating up all this stuff in that pond. I don't think it's just the eagles.
Well, I'd like to think he's got that many eagles to have that problem myself.
That's what I thought.
But
I ain't
yeah,
never
you
seen
got
that
the
many.
ospreys doing it, you know, feeding on, you know how they do on the water. They always got a nest out there on those river marker poles. And when you see one, he's carrying a fish between his claws.
Yeah.
And the bald eagles do the same thing. And the herons, you know, they're walking the banks, and I've
They'll
seen them
stay
spear
there, and
fish
then-
that look like they weigh
Yeah.
2 pounds.
Is that big white one, solid white one? It's been coming up there behind Dad's house on that little old creek, trying to eat up all them manners and stuff in that thing.
So, you know, I'd say, and them fish has got a lot better eye view than we got. Yeah, I say not the fish, but the birds have got a lot better eyes and can see better up swooping down than we'd ever would. So it doesn't surprise me. And the thing about a pond, we've got a good populated pond will be plumb full of fish, crappie, bluegill, bass, but they're all the same size.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Once it gets several years old, they're all the same size, and they'll spawn and have little ones, but they eat most of what they, you know, so they don't have a chance to get very big. And because you take a pond that's not got a food source running in other than what's already in there, so yeah, when them bass minnows hatch, they start feeding on them themselves, you know.
Yeah, bass eat the bluegill.
Eat the bluegill, and yeah, it kind of keeps her stunted. Dylan,
You got to have
put that picture, those two pictures I sent you last week that we didn't get to show, put them on the screen. You think you still got them? Okay, good deal. But anyway, while you're getting them up there, we'll continue to talk because the, these pictures are coming from a guy that I work with. What do you count there? 14. See his fillet knife back there on the end of the board, don't you?
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14.
Huh? 14. Yeah, and the week before that, or the other picture I showed here a couple of weeks ago, Ricky and his son. There you go. I think that's the same batch. Count them there and see. I think that's just. But anyway, they've been going out there fishing these ponds and catching. I mean, there's some nice bass out there.
22 there.
22. That's what he caught the week before, and then 2 weeks ago, and then last weekend he caught them 14. Yeah, and I keep preaching catch and release, and they keep preaching catch and eat. Oh Lord, I mean, heck, that's a bag of fish, buddy. When you get to looking at what they got, some of them pretty nice ones, but they just go around and fish these ponds, and he says I go up and if people's got a pond, I'll go ask them if I can fish it.
Yeah.
If they say no, I say thank you. If they say yes, I say good, appreciate it. Go down there and get started.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good fish in some of these ponds around here. I'm telling you. I think the Kentucky state record was caught in a foreign pond and largemouth era anyway. So anyway, them boys catch them on floating worms, top water, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So there's that done. Just looking at the regulations for 2019, we should have talked about this earlier in the year. It says culling, and tournament fishermen cull fish. You're only allowed 5 in most tournaments, 3 sometimes, and then sometimes 1.
Yeah.
But there is some regulations about that, and it says the removal of a fish from the creel limit and replacing it with another fish of the same species. The released fish must be a live, healthy specimen, which should be expected to survive once it is returned to its natural environment. Any fish that is landed with a gaff cannot be culled.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can't swim often.
You
can't cull him.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're figuring on cull, if he's small and you figure on cull him, you might as well throw him back when you catch him.
Yeah. In other words, you can't throw a dead fish back in to replace it with a live fish. Most tournament weigh-ins, if you've got a dead fish, they'll penalize you when they weigh it. A dead fish will cost you a pound, or most of the time it's a pound. A dead fish will cost you that. And, if it weighs 5 pounds, you get credited for 4 pounds. So anyway, a lot of that was one good thing that I seen out. And the boat restoration was going up when this fall.
Went up 1st of July.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, and 4. So if you got your boat registered before July the 1st, I think, and you saved a few dollars, but from next year when you go to register it again, prices up.
Well, I'll tell you what I'd like to see them do. I'd like to see them take the license and bring the price back down. They had a guy that was asking, why do you have to buy a combination license? Why don't you just have fishing license? He said, well, that money goes for all this other stuff. Well, I say, take this rockfish stuff and put a stamp on it, just like they do the big game stamp or the ducks or something like that, and see if they get enough money off of them stamps to raise all these rockfish that they're spending all of their money on to put in the lake. If they can't get enough money off of their stamp to pay for the program, then they need to do away with that program and quit wasting their money on it. Because there ain't that many people, in my opinion, going out there just to rockfish.
Well,
You may have a dozen over here at Milton Hill, and a couple of dozen on North, and one or two down at Watch Bar or something. You got thousands going out there bass fishing or crappie fishing or walleye fishing.
well, that's a good thought, Mike. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that'd be a good way to check the revenue.
That's right. To me, North Lake ain't been the same since they started putting them rascals in them.
I won't argue that. The first few years, it didn't make much difference,
No.
but here in the latter years,
Yeah, once they
it
started
ain't the
getting up
same.
there 10 pound or better,
Yeah.
they started making a difference.
well, it's like we talked the other night. When we had Bill over here, you catch a 3-pounder and you throw one back, and we throw everything back, and then you come back next year and you think, well, now that 3-pounder ought to weigh 4 pounds, but it ain't there.
It ain't there.
It ain't
No,
there.
It
They
sure
just don't.
ain't there.
And we throw back too many fish for us not to catch them. A good sized fish is every trip or two,
Yes,
you
sir.
know,
Yes, sir.
and it just ain't happened. And it's not happened in the last 10 years.
No,
So,
it sure ain't.
Uh,
It sure ain't.
and Mike and I, years ago, we used to carry those little old zip ties, the little tiny ones, about 3 inches long, and we'd put them in their back fin or put them in their tail fin there, and I don't know that we ever caught a fish back.
No.
That we'd marked, and just to see, just trying to learn that if we catch him here, is he gonna stay here or is he gone? And I don't know if we ever caught one that we'd put a tag in.
No either. But I know we used to just pull up to a good point there and just cast after cast. You just keep catching fish right there, and most of them may not be but 12 to 14 inches long, but you just one right after the other, and now you don't hardly ever catch
I know.
you small ones like that.
And we don't catch many tag fish either.
Oh no.
And
No.
used to, we'd catch one every now and then up there, but in the last 10, 12 years, I don't think we've caught the first.
No.
Now, I'll admit, a lot of the tag fish they do release on North is largemouth, but we catch a few largemouth along too, and hadn't seen the tag in the fish
No.
for quite a while.
No.
All right, we're going to go to break, be back in a little bit, and I'm going to research something here in this book. Take us to break, Dylan. Okay, folks, welcome to Edgemore Outdoors. I'm over here with Vance and Jim today. They've had several customers in. Just to give you a little idea of the whole shop. You guys have seen it. You know what's in here. I mean, it's, everything that you're looking for. And then let's keep getting all the new stuff in. So we're going to get over here to the counter and visit with Vance. He's been making a list. And we got a bunch of reels up on the cabinet. And we're going to take a look at that. Everything in the world in here. Fishing lures, lines, plastics, sunglasses, all kinds of baits, swim baits, jigs, spinner baits, plugs, rods, reels, boat saver. I mean, it's all here. So come by and see Edgemore. We'll get over here and see what Vance has got us here on the counter. All right, folks, I'm here with Vance behind the counter. Vance, what you got laid up here for us, bud?
What we got here is some newer Daiwa spinning reels and a Daiwa Tatula CT bait caster.
Uh-huh.
And then we also got a newer Lew's bait caster here. It's a Tournament Pro.
Yeah.
We got some new Dixie Custom feather stick rods here.
So now, you've been bragging about that rod a whole lot. Let's hear about it.
Well, this rod's a little bit lighter than the other models. It's also, the blank is made thinner. And
Yeah.
instead of just red foam, it's got actual red wind grips on there for you.
Uh-huh.
So that's a real nice rod there.
Well, I picked it up. I sure did like it. It is light about that, and it's got some good backbone to it to be that light. So that's a plus. Now, what about these two reels right here,
We got a Daiwa Revros here. That's $49.99.
Mm-hmm.
And a Daiwa Exceller here, $79.99.
And well, I tell you what, they sure feel smooth to me.
They're light, they're smooth. It's a real good quality reel for the money there.
Okay.
We also got Mega Bass. Got
Yeah.
all that in here.
Got some Mega Bass
Got
and
Mega Bass. Yep. We got some new braid, different kinds of braid that is fluorescent.
Yeah.
Glows under high vis.
Okay.
Got the Tokyo rigs. Got new VMC Nico shroom weights.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, folks, get by here, see Edgemore Outdoors. Jim or Vance will be here. Got live bait, night crawlers. I mean, you know, hey, if we don't have it here, you don't need it. So get by here and visit with Edgemore Outdoors. Hey, folks, here at Tim's Tires, there's the times that they're open. The day, you know, that's 5 days a week. They're open from 8 to 12:30 on Saturdays. All right, folks, we're inside here in the warehouse. Just wanted to give you a quick look at all the tires and stuff they got. And here we are. There's some four-wheeler tires, lawnmower tires, just a mixture of about any kind.